Common said it himself in an interview. "I went through a lot of emotional cycles, and thank God for therapy, because it helped me finally see my own patterns, to understand why I'd keep feeling that way in relationships. Now I can actually recognize what's real." Big words, powerful promises. But coming from a man whose longest relationship barely lasted longer than a Netflix season, people weren't exactly holding their breath. Still, for a brief moment, it really looked like maybe, just maybe, he'd finally changed. Jennifer and Common were glowing, walking red carpets hand in hand, giving joint interviews, taking sweet selfies, and making the world believe they had found that rare Hollywood love story that actually lasts. Jennifer spoke about their life partnership with pure conviction, like she'd finally met her equal, her calm after years of chaos. But if you paid attention, and trust me, the internet always does, the cracks started showing early. Followers noticed subtle changes: fewer joint photos, shorter mentions of each other in interviews, and an uncomfortable tension hiding behind their smiles. Jennifer's usual radiant glow dimmed whenever his name came up. The laughter felt forced. Her tone carried a quiet uncertainty. Meanwhile, Common started showing up solo to events where they were once inseparable. He seemed lighter, even distant, as though he'd already started mentally packing his bags. Behind closed doors, whispers grew louder. Friends close to both sides started hinting that things weren't as picture-perfect as they seemed. There were arguments, heated, emotional ones. Reports surfaced about Common being seen out and about looking a little too comfortable with other women. Nothing confirmed, but enough smoke to suggest there might be fire. The writing was on the wall, but nobody expected how messy this unraveling would become. Because when a man like Common, a man with a pattern of chasing highs and fleeing when things get hard, starts to feel rejected or cornered, that love addiction can twist into something darker. Even Common once admitted, "When things got tough, I didn't want to work through them. I'd tell myself, oh, this is getting in the way of my career," or "relationships distract me from my best work." Those were my excuses. And that right there, that avoidance, that self-sabotage, is exactly what allegedly played out with Jennifer. Now we reach the heart of it, the reason people say Common can't stand Jennifer Hudson anymore. This is where the real drama begins. According to multiple insiders, Common didn't just mention marriage casually. He went full traditional romantic, grand gesture, ring and all. And Jennifer said no. Before anyone jumps on Jennifer for turning him down, let's look deeper. Jennifer Hudson is no fool. She's watched Common's track record unfold like the rest of us. She knew the pattern. Beautiful, powerful woman meets charming Common. Love blooms fast, then dies just as quickly. Even after all his talk about therapy and change, Jennifer couldn't shake the fear that she might end up like all the others, another name on his heartbreak resume. Insiders say she told Common directly that she wasn't ready, that his past made it hard for her to trust his promises. Imagine loving someone deeply, but constantly wondering if you're just another temporary chapter. That's not romance, that's emotional torture. And there was another, more personal reason for her hesitation, one rooted in trauma. Jennifer's previous engagement to David Otunga had left deep scars. Their nearly decade-long relationship ended in chaos. Restraining orders, court filings, emotional exhaustion. Troubling news about Jennifer Hudson, one outlet reported back then. It's over with her fiancé after nearly 10 years together, and Jennifer has taken legal steps to keep him away. 9 years of love gone up in flames. 9 years of trying to build something that ended in heartbreak and court documents. So when Common got down on one knee, even if only metaphorically, Jennifer's heart froze. To her, marriage didn't symbolize safety or forever. It symbolized risk, pain, the possibility of another collapse that could shatter everything she'd rebuilt. Sources said she told friends, "I can't go through that again." She'd fought too hard to regain peace and stability. She had her son, her career, her independence, her control. So no matter how much she cared for Common, the idea of legally binding herself again terrified her. One friend said Jennifer told Common point blank, "I don't want to end up back at square one." And it makes sense. Jennifer had spent years rebuilding her empire after the emotional wreckage of her past. She'd become an EGOT winner, earning an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. She had everything, except maybe the trust to try love again. Common tried to reassure her. He swore that therapy had changed him, that he was ready to be the man she deserved. But Jennifer wasn't convinced. She'd heard those same promises before, from someone else who swore he'd never hurt her. And when she turned him down, it wasn't with anger. It was heartbreak wrapped in self-protection. Still, rejection hits differently for a man like Common. He's used to being the one who leaves, not the one left standing. For someone who spent his entire adult life adored by women, having Jennifer, a woman he admired and publicly praised, say no to him was more than rejection. It was humiliation. He even admitted later, "My male ego. I gotta work on that." That wounded pride can turn affection into bitterness fast. And for a man already battling abandonment issues, that kind of emotional bruise can rot everything good in a relationship. But as big as that was, that marriage rejection was only the surface layer of this storm. Because soon after, the rumors began to spiral, and what people started saying would take this story from after Jennifer's refusal to marry him. What should have been a quiet heartbreak turned into a storm neither of them could contain. At first, Common tried to play it cool, acting like nothing was wrong, like the no didn't bother him. But inside, it stung, deeply. And just when things could have healed with time, the world decided to pour gasoline on the fire. Rumors started to swirl. And in Hollywood, rumors spread faster than truth ever could. One particular name kept echoing through the noise: Jaguar Wright. Jaguar Wright, the outspoken singer known for spilling secrets that most celebrities would take to the grave. She's never been afraid to name names, and this time, her focus was on Common. She dropped a bombshell in an interview, claiming that Common had deep issues hidden behind that gentle, intellectual image the public adored. She accused him of behavior that made people gasp, saying he wasn't the man he pretended to be, that there was a darkness there. Now, none of it was proven, but that didn't matter, and because once Jaguar said his name, the internet ran with it. Memes, headlines, podcasts, everyone had something to say. And guess who got dragged into the mess by association? Jennifer Hudson. People began questioning if she'd heard the same things, if she'd believed the whispers, if that's why she refused his proposal. Suddenly, Jennifer's name was trending for reasons that had nothing to do with her career. Her team tried to do damage control, but the narrative had already spun out of control. Behind the scenes, Jennifer was livid. Not just hurt, furious. She reportedly told a friend, "I've worked too hard to have my name mixed up in his drama." Because Jennifer's brand had always been one of grace, faith, and triumph over tragedy. She'd already survived the unimaginable, losing her mother, brother, and nephew to violence years ago. She had rebuilt herself from ashes. So to be dragged into yet another storm, this time because of a man's past, was her breaking point. People close to her said she started pulling back emotionally. The texts slowed down. The calls got shorter. The laughter faded. Common noticed. He tried to pull her back in, but his words carried less weight than before. Every conversation turned into an argument about trust and image. And right when things seemed to hit rock bottom, another wave hit, and this time, it cut even deeper. Outlets began hinting that Common wasn't just unfaithful. Some even whispered that he had a different lifestyle altogether. They started questioning his preferences, his authenticity, and whether his relationships were for show. It became a circus. And the saddest part? Jennifer didn't even know what to believe anymore. Her friends advised her to step away. "Protect your peace," they said. "You've got too much to lose." And deep down, she knew they were right. Because suddenly, every conversation about her love life was overshadowing her music, her talk show, her image as one of the most respected entertainers of her generation. Common, on the other hand, was spiraling in his own way. The man who once prided himself on emotional control was now drowning in frustration, angry at the press, angry at Jennifer, angry at himself. He said in one interview around that time, "Sometimes when things fall apart, it's really God showing you what wasn't supposed to be." But behind that calm, philosophical tone, there was bitterness. People could sense it. His smiles looked tight. His energy felt off. When he was asked directly about Jennifer, his answers were vague. "We still have love. She's amazing. We're cool." But Jennifer? She went silent. That silence spoke louder than anything else. For someone as outspoken and expressive as Jennifer, her refusal to even mention his name on her show or interviews told the whole story. Then came the paparazzi photos. Jennifer seen leaving her studio looking drained, avoiding questions. Common spotted at events with new company. It looked like both were moving on, but the emotional residue lingered. Jennifer's fans started defending her online, saying she dodged a bullet. Common's fans accused her of being too guarded and cold. The debate went on and on, tearing both reputations apart in real time. And yet what nobody could see was the private pain behind all the public chatter. Because while everyone was pointing fingers, Jennifer was reportedly facing something else, something life-changing that the public still doesn't fully know. People began whispering about pregnancy rumors. A source close to her claimed she'd confided that she was handling something delicate. The gossip blogs took that and ran wild with it, suggesting Jennifer might be expecting, and worse, that it wasn't Common's. No proof. No photos, just online speculation feeding itself. And Common? He didn't take it well. For a man already battling trust issues, seeing those headlines was like pouring salt on an open wound. He reportedly confronted Jennifer, not in public, but privately, heated, accusing her of betraying him. She denied everything. She said it was a cruel rumor, nothing more. But once trust breaks, logic stops mattering. Common started withdrawing, talking less, smiling less, performing with that same poetic fire but carrying visible exhaustion. In one podcast, he admitted, "Sometimes we hold on to love because we don't want to face being alone, not because it's still right for us." It was subtle, but those who knew the backstory read between the lines. The love that once looked like a fairy tale had become a battlefield of secrets, pride, and pain. And the worst part? Neither wanted to admit who was truly at fault. Jennifer's team urged her to stay silent, to let time clear her name. Common's circle told him to focus on his music and forget her. But healing isn't that simple when both people still care and still hurt. That's when the interviews started again. Jennifer hinted that some things just don't fit, no matter how much love there is. Common said he was working on being a better communicator. Different words, same subtext. Two people who loved each other but couldn't survive the weight of their own fears. And yet, even after all that, the rejection, the rumors, the silence, destiny wasn't done with them. Because something unexpected was about to happen that would drag both their names back into the spotlight again and reopen every old wound they'd tried to bury. Heartbreak to full-blown chaos. By now, everyone watching this saga unfold knew that things between Jennifer and Common weren't just rocky, they were breaking. And the public narrative didn't help. Social media users, gossip blogs, and even late-night talk shows dissected every glance, every post, and every interview. But behind all the headlines, the truth was more nuanced. Jennifer, despite being hurt, reportedly remained committed to protecting her peace. Friends said she avoided confrontation with Common whenever possible, preferring silence over unnecessary drama. She also focused on her work, her music, her charity initiatives, and her role as a mother. Her social media began reflecting this renewed energy. Posts highlighted her independence, her accomplishments, and subtle lessons she'd learned from the relationship. Meanwhile, Common appeared increasingly frustrated. Sources close to him claimed he was grappling with a mix of ego, unresolved emotions, and the public fallout of a private pain. It wasn't just that Jennifer rejected his proposal. It was that he felt exposed, humiliated, and uncertain about how much he had revealed of himself emotionally. And then came the interviews. Those small, seemingly innocent statements that, when pieced together, told a much larger story. In one sit-down, Common reflected on love and attachment. Sometimes we hold on to relationships for the wrong reasons. We think it's love, but really it's fear, habit, or pride. Learning that it takes a lifetime. To the casual listener, it might have sounded like a philosophical reflection. But insiders knew it was pointed, a subtle acknowledgement of what went wrong between him and Jennifer. Sources also suggested that Common had difficulty accepting Jennifer's independence and achievements. Her global fame, wealth, and influence, combined with her clear boundaries, reportedly made him feel challenged in ways he wasn't used to. Where once he thrived on admiration and pursuit, now he faced a woman who could meet him eye to eye, challenge him intellectually, and refuse to compromise her principles. Some insiders argued this dynamic exposed a pattern in Common's relationships. He was comfortable with admiration, but not equality. He loved women who complimented him, but when confronted with someone as accomplished as Jennifer, old insecurities and fear of inadequacy surfaced. Adding fuel to the fire were rumors of new connections in Common's life. Paparazzi spotted him spending time with others in ways that sparked speculation about whether he was truly ready to settle or simply escaping the discomfort of a relationship that demanded genuine emotional work. Jennifer, on the other hand, appeared to be growing stronger. The woman who had endured unimaginable personal loss and decades in the spotlight seemed to transform heartbreak into self-empowerment. Even when whispers about her personal life emerged, she remained composed, refusing to feed the speculation, instead focusing on building a future on her own terms. Some might interpret this as Jennifer moving on. Others might see it as her reclaiming control in a story where she had been unfairly cast as the victim. Either way, the trajectory was clear. She would not let anyone, even someone she loved, dictate her narrative or her worth. And for Common, the fallout reportedly left him introspective but also conflicted. He faced public scrutiny, internal frustration, and the bitter reality that some relationships, no matter how passionate, are ultimately incompatible. Observers began theorizing about the lessons both could take away. Jennifer learned the importance of boundaries, self-respect, and trusting her instincts. Common faced the reality of how patterns of behavior, unresolved trauma, and ego can sabotage even the most promising connections. The irony of the saga is profound. Two people who seemed destined to be together, talented, intelligent, successful, and attractive, ultimately couldn't reconcile their differences. The heartbreak, public gossip, and private struggles served as a reminder that love is rarely just about chemistry. It's also about timing, emotional readiness, compatibility, and the courage to face both your own flaws and those of your partner. In the end, both Jennifer and Common moved forward, but in very different directions. Jennifer continued to flourish professionally, building her legacy while embracing personal growth. Common, meanwhile, reflected on patterns, ego, and the complexities of relationships that demand more than charisma or desire. This story serves as a modern cautionary tale. No matter how perfect a match seems on paper or in public, unresolved trauma, mismatched expectations, and personal insecurities can unravel even the most promising love stories. Ultimately, what we witnessed wasn't just a celebrity breakup. It was a case study in human behavior, love addiction, emotional boundaries, and the consequences of ignoring personal growth for the sake of romance. And while the drama will continue to fuel headlines, the real story lies in the lessons both Jennifer and Common will carry forward. Lessons about respect, self-awareness, and the importance of aligning love with emotional readiness. Because in the end, it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about understanding that even the brightest sparks can burn out when they collide with unresolved pain. And that's exactly what happened here. A collision of talent, ego, history, and heartbreak. Jennifer Hudson walks forward stronger, wiser, and empowered. Common learns, or at least begins to, the hard truth about love, attachment, and the price of ignoring patterns that repeatedly lead to heartbreak. It's messy. It's human. And it's a reminder that love, even when it shines in the spotlight, is never simple.